And while couponing might remind you of weekends filled with cutting them from newspapers, it is almost fully transformed to the digital age. It might sound like a lot of work, but that has not been the case for Kathleen Cassidy, who is living on a loonie.
And Kathleen joined us now on CB24 Breakfast. Kathleen, this is such a timely conversation because, you know, with inflation going the way it is, we're paying more at the gas pumps, more at the stores. Finding a way to save a few bucks could certainly help. So Kathleen, what is sort of like, I guess, your best tip when it comes to couponing? Because we see those shows in the U.S. We can't do that extreme couponing here, but people still want to save a little bit with coupons, perhaps.
100%. So definitely a little bit different than the show. The Canadian way of couponing would definitely be looking at different routes of how you can do that, whether that's finding coupons in store or even using digital apps. But my main tip actually would be just to look at the store that you're shopping in and really see, you know, is that the most budget friendly store, and how can you kind of plan for your week to save the most money based off the sale items that they have.
And of course, people can always rely on traditional flyers as well, right? So just because you get a ton of junk mail, you shouldn't always just toss them into the recycle pile.
100%. So you can use everyday flyers to try and price match, or there's even digital apps now, such as the Flip app, that actually lets you have all the local flyers in your area right at the touch of your phone.
Yeah, that's a pretty handy app. I've used that before. You got to make sure the store you have sort of has that matching thing, and that's sort of part of the trick here. But the other thing, Kathleen, you know, we've also had the food professor, Sylvain Charlebois, on. He talks a lot about buy today. That's a good way to save some money, isn't it?
100%. So I would say most people, you know, try to go to the grocery store once a week, and that might be all the time that you have to do that. But my suggestion and kind of what I do is definitely plan, you know, maybe 2 to 3 days at a time. And that's just to ensure that you don't have any produce, bakery, meat going to waste, because that could really affect, you know, how much you're spending, especially if you're just throwing it out.
Right. And Kathleen, what if you decide to invest in a massive freezer so that you can buy your frozen meats while they're on sale? Is that still okay to freeze them even though they're at kind of close to the best before date? That's an option?
Yes, 100%. That's something that I love to do. Some stores, example for Tino's, they actually put 50% off stickers kind of early in the morning when they open or later at night before they close. That's a great time to buy meat. I normally throw it in the freezer, or you can also use some kind of, you know, wrapping system to make sure there's no air in that and kind of do your own packaging just to ensure that the freshness stays in there.
So Kathleen, what is your personal shopping strategy? Is it go every couple of days, or is it go at certain times of the day? What are some of the tips you have from that side of it?
I would say both. I definitely go maybe every 2 to 3 days. Again, making sure I get the produce and meat that's not going to waste. I'm also making sure that I'm having a shopping list. I have my meals kind of planned out ahead of time. I know that may sound like a lot of time and effort to put in ahead of time, but it kind of helps you further in the week, so you're not thinking, you know, what am I having for dinner tonight? Those kind of age-old questions. So I do feel like this kind of strategy really helps you save money and time in the long run.
Right. And Kathleen, what's your take on, you know, a lot of people during the pandemic turned to ordering their food online and having it delivered. Do you still recommend these services? Are they more costly? What's your experience with them? And I'm speaking for a lot of seniors, for example, who might be living alone that can't go to a grocery store every day or don't feel comfortable doing so.
Yeah, 100%. There's still tons of great services. The thing when using those services, you are paying a little bit more sometimes per item or for a delivery fee, that type of thing. But if that is what works best for you, I would definitely recommend that. But when you're doing so, just look for offers. So a lot of the time, for example, PC Express or something like that, they will have a code that if you enter in, you know, you get extra PC Optimum points back or something like that. So it's an additional way to save and kind of have that additional savings in terms of loyalty points or discounts on your account as well.
And Kathleen, before we let you go here, you know, let's say your average shop is maybe 100, 150 bucks these days. If you're strategic about it, if you sort of coupon right, the Canadian way as it were, how much money can you really save? Are we talking 5, 10, 20 bucks? What do you think?
It really depends, again, on how much time and effort you want to put in. I have a spreadsheet that I keep all of my savings in for the year, and I'm able to save thousands of dollars. That's using, you know, loyalty programs, coupons, cashback apps, kind of the whole 9 yards. But I would always suggest kind of start small, start with one thing that works for you, and you can build your skills from there.
Okay, and Kathleen, very quickly before we let you go, what was the name of the app you said that, you know, congregated all the flyers together?
That's the Flip app, so FLIPP.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much, Kathleen Cassidy, who is living on a loonie. Really appreciate your thoughts this morning.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you so much.